Jeff,
ready to go?
You going first?
Timer ready? Yeah, I'll go first. Bruce, you're a naturalistic materialist, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Would you agree with Krauss and Sagan that we're stardust?
Pretty much.
Okay. Pretty much.
Well, where do we come from? I don't believe God poofed us into existence. No.
Now, as an atheist, from your perspective, would you agree with Krauss and Sagan when they say human beings are stardust?
We evolved naturally from material, yes.
Okay. And so it's a godless universe, no governance, no guidance, matter in motion.
I didn't say governance.
Please try to
guidance,
speak
no.
into the microphone.
No personal governance, and order.
I could agree with that. Personal,
Okay.
sure.
So given that naturalistic materialism, human beings being stardust, what's wrong with eating babies?
Because we have a mind, we've evolved to have thoughts, and we care about other people, and we can
Bruce,
put
what's
each other-
wrong, morally
we can put
wrong with
each-
eating babies?
We can put ourselves in other shoes. That's why we don't kill babies.
Okay, ready?
We have evolved to accept morality
Over
into our
evolutionary time, Bruce, I'm going to ask you a question here. Over evolutionary time, you've had two values risen up over evolutionary time. You have stardust that likes to hurt people and inflict harm. And you have stardust over here that wants to do good and treat others well. Why are you arbitrarily choosing one value over the other as
That's an invalid
stardust?
question, Jeff. That's an invalid question. and
It's not an invalid
unanswerable.
question.
There are not two different things going on.
There's
at the
two
same
values risen up, Bruce.
time. There are not two values because at that particular time, no one was around to have values.
No, Bruce, today, there are two values risen up. 1 second. There are two values risen up. And so the question is, what's wrong with stardust bumping into stardust?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with stardust bumping into
Could you
stardust.
allow Bruce
but-
to answer that question real
Oh,
fast?
sure.
Well, I might actually defer that question, but I don't see stars bumping into stars. What's your question, Jeff?
No, stardust. You said human beings are essentially stardust. What's
That's an
morally wrong with
equivocation
stardust?
argument, I think, that you're saying we are stardust a lot more than stardust.
Okay, Bruce, you still haven't answered the question. What's wrong with eating
do
babies?
have the
I
speakers do
can't
have
answer
the
that
option
question,
to defer
Jeff.
to their partners.
What's wrong with it is that you actually support it because you read the Bible. This is the insanity of belief, that you believe something that it's okay to do because God tells you to do it. Do you believe in killing
Bruce,
babies?
where in the Bible does God say to eat babies?
Eat
The
babies?
reason
I don't
we
think it does.
The reason
It
we
doesn't.
don't
To kill babies, yes, in
Okay.
many, many verses.
All right, go ahead.
to skip a thousand reasons, there is one very simple reason why we don't eat babies, and it's because we will no longer be. That would be the end of humanity if we all thought it was a good idea.
From
to
an
eat
atheistic
babies.
perspective, what's wrong with that?
There is no atheistic perspective.
You're assuming value and dignity in these human beings that you say we ought to protect.
No,
Now,
no,
as a
no, I said-
Christian, real fast, as a
Yeah.
Christian, I can justify that claim of human value and dignity in babies, but you're assuming it. I'm asking you to provide a justification as to why it's wrong to eat babies from an atheistic perspective.
Okay.
Give me a
So-
justification.
Great. So three things. There is no atheistic perspective. Being an atheist
Are you an
says-
atheist?
Yes. There is no atheistic perspective.
Are you giving me your perspective?
I apologize. Every single time,
Would you like
the
to
middle
have
of my
him
sentence keeps
answer the
interrupting the
question,
beginning
please,
of
Jeff?
yours.
Please
but-
be considerate and let him
but
answer
This
the
is my
question.
time to ask questions, your
Yes,
time
but
to
you
answer.
have to give the time to him
Okay,
to
okay.
answer the question.
Go ahead, please.
I said nothing about values. I put it so simply as we do not eat babies because we would be no longer. If we
And what's
wish-
wrong with that from an atheistic perspective? That's what I've asked you a second time now.
So I'll answer it this time, yes?
Okay.
Okay, good. There's no atheistic perspective. The fact that I do not believe one's claim that there is a supernatural God of any sort
Yes.
does not guide my morals in any way.
So your beliefs, your worldview does not guide your living
My
in the
worldview,
world.
yes. The fact that I'm not convinced that any supernatural being exists has nothing to do with it.
Okay, we've evolved in a cosmically purposeless universe. And now here we have babies. And you're suggesting that we should do good to these babies and not violate them and hurt them.
Yes, yes.
In a universe where there is no God, no ultimate standard of justice, I'm asking you to provide me an intelligible answer besides just preference. Because I don't want to, or we would die.
I didn't give preference.
That provides the preconditions necessary for intelligibility to make that claim mean something. Your claim is that there is no God, no ultimate purpose, meaning, governance,
I
in the
did not
universe.
claim there's no God.
So you're saying, as an atheist, you accept God's existence now?
No, I'm not convinced that one exists. That's not a claim that he does not.
So in a universe where we used to be fish, Why is it wrong to violate a baby? And don't give me, and this is what I'm not looking for. I'm looking for a justification. I'm looking for a justification.
Okay.
A justification that satisfies the preconditions of intelligibility. Not a mere claim. Not what you think we should do. But what provides that justification?
Do you want me to justify intelligibility, or do you want me to tell you why I don't eat babies?
A justification from an atheistic perspective.
Okay.
I have a question.
He just said there is no atheist perspective.
Let me chime in with a question here, if you don't mind. I had read that, Bruce, that you believe that the idea of logic is really coming from the frontal lobe. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that you don't believe that people have souls, they have brains.
Correct. I'm not a dualist. A dualist believes in a mind separate than the brain. I believe that our mind is our brain.
Right. And you obviously believe in the some sort of Big Bang.
That's our best explanation right now, but I'm open to new explanations if something comes along. That's what skeptics do.
So in light of that, let me ask you this question. You gave us some pretty horrible atrocities for us to consider on this screen. Do you think the people who did those things were wrong in doing those things?
It doesn't matter if they think they were wrong or not. They did them justified by religious leaders at the time.
I'm asking if you think those things that you showed that were so horrible, do you think they were wrong?
Of course.
Do you think those people should be held accountable for the wrong things that they do?
Sure.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. If we're just matter in motion, if we're just molecules...
We are not matter in motion.
If we're molecules flying through space...
We're not molecules
If we're
flying
the
through
end
space.
result of a Big Bang, because there was nothing, there was a Big Bang, and now we're sitting at the table. How can people be held accountable for their actions any more than a piece of shrapnel can be held accountable for landing where it lands when the explosion goes off? I'm wondering, how do you take that leap from being naturalistic to holding people accountable and stating that they are absolutely wrong for the things they do?
I'll just say one thing, that we live in a social contract. We live within a social contract. That's one of my answers.
The shrapnel does not make decisions. We do. We realize that we are self-aware. The shrapnel is not. That's why we don't look at the shrapnel to abuse it afterwards. We look at the humans that made the decisions and fired the shot.
Right, but if the mind is just mechanical, if it's just something that is material...
Sure, and we don't need to get into...
I mean, do you see the difficulty?
No, because...
No, I don't.
Okay, because I think people would see the difficulty there, but maybe you don't.
Right.
And I think it's kind of obvious.
2 minutes.
Yes, the reason that we do govern ourselves, that we do live in the social contract, that we to just avoid all of the obviousness that we are a social species, that we are tribal in nature. We do come together, we protect each other, we want to live, we have a desire to sustain ourselves. Avoiding all of the obvious.
If you don't mind, I'd like to get my question in.
Avoiding all of the obvious along those lines. There are actual rational reasons. We can use empirical data to show that it is a bad idea to run around killing each other. Because if we all think that it's okay to just run around killing each other, we no longer exist.
That's sufficient. I have one question for Bruce. In the closing statement of your debate, How Do We Know What Is True? You said, I understand now through the process of looking at psychology on a very amateur level that we could be wrong big time on any of our thoughts, no matter what our personal experiences might be. Do you believe that you could be wrong about any of your thoughts?
Of course I do, but I have a confidence level.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
That is not mentioned in
I have one last question.
Debates.
Could you be wrong about everything you said tonight?
Say again?
Could you be wrong about everything you said tonight?
I do not believe I am wrong.
That's not my question.
My
yes or no?
level. You see, this is what the problem is, Si. You deal with absolutes.
Right.
There's a range of confidence that people have.
Are you saying there are no absolutes?
There is a range of confident absolutes. There is another word game he's playing. Do I have any time, Christopher?
30 seconds, please.
There is a confidence level that he completely ignores. He's going to say, do you know that anything is true? And I'm going to say, well, technically, no.
Confidence
but I believe it's true because I have confidence that it's true. I have confidence that Sean's
so
not
you
going
have
to stab
faith,
me.
Bruce? Bruce, you have faith?
It's confidence,
Bruce,
it's not
you have
faith.
Okay.
There's five different definitions of faith.
Can I answer?
I do not have faith. If you define faith as a supernatural.
Time, gentlemen. I'll get that. Time. Just so the audience understands, both sides in the debate requested and they were given a more conversational